show. Today we're gonna talk about women in the world, and the situation. So, did you know that half of a woman's body is illegal? Yeah. A man can walk out topless, but a woman can't because her boobies are gonna cause car accidents. And because men can't like figure out what to do with boobies out in the open. Yeah. So because men can't figure it because it's indecent because men have an issue with boobs, then they can't be seen in public. So now what about genitalia? Well, that's another issue. I personally don't want to see anyone's genitalia, so I think that the whole genitalia should be covered up. Women are perceived as so ugly that they have to paint their faces in order to go into the office, in order to go into work oftentimes. Uh, $1 billion industry is made out of putting masks on women. Just think about that for a second. Women are the ones who are literally have to like earrings and the dresses and everything. When you look at nature, it's the men who are with the birds, with the feathers and all this. So we really have it backwards. Oftentimes the female species is like, whatever. I'm the one that you got what you want. So you need to come to me. So, and you've got, the lions and you've got all those animals that come in and they have all those elements in order to court. So you've got a flip flop in nature and humanity. So, but that's just the surface. That's just the surface. I mean, you've got words like motherfucker, in television shows, you've got Hollywood, and Hollywood is really a microcosm of what's really happening in the world. So when you see these cases, when you see in Law and Order, when you see these elements, are like they're happening. They're happening to people. I mean, people are kidnapping people here, so it's like I don't know about that. So it's happening, and I think that we need to have a sense of empathy for women and the whole understanding of what is happening in the world. Um, there's so many it's such a controversial subject really because a lot of people are going to get have their own opinions about how to behave with women. And I think a lot of it is just respect. It's just plain basic respect, to look at it, to look at yourself inward and see what your correction is and see how that is affecting your relationship with other people and also women. I think a lot of men have a correction with women. I think a lot of men, and we also have subliminal brainwashing. We have the word guys that is sent out there. You have a group of women, and oftentimes they're called guys. Um, and it's interesting. It's an interesting, and no one's faulting anyone for it. I'm just saying that it's so overt and it's so over us that we really undermine women to the detriment of the destruction of the American country. We had a perfectly well candidate, in my opinion, and all of a sudden, because a lot of people are sexist, this is what happened. So I think we really, and when you look at the matriarchs, when you look at the mothers, I mean, when a child is abandoned, who is the one that stays? You look at all those elements throughout history, and those are really important for humanity to look into. So women are the future. That's what I'm going to go ahead and say. I think we need to have respect for women. We need to empower women. We need to look inward. We need to look outward. We need to look at how we can, a lot of teenage girls, a lot of people. I mean, okay. So one time I changed my profile to Megan because I love me some Megan. Bunch of creeps came for me. Like they're like family people, like who had children. Like I went on their Instagram and they had children. And they just straight up trying to give me their phone numbers and stuff, and it broke me. It literally broke me. Uh, because it was like, I mean, how old does Megan look? Like 8, the original Megan, and it's a doll and it's a child, and it was one of those things, wake up calls when you look at Law and Order and you see all these cases and you're that's happening over there. I don't hear about it. And you casually hear about this gal in the news this girl being kidnapped and this child being taken, and somebody in the mall tells you that a baby was missing and the father was on their phone and stuff like that, and you have all those things coming, and so you start to realize it's an issue. It's a serious issue that perhaps a lot of people are not talking about it. You think about the subliminal messages in kids movies. People are now looking back, a lot of these kid shows and seeing the references to fate, a lot of the sexualization of children. So it's something that we as a society need to A, be aware of, and also be pushed back on by empowering women, by empowering leadership in women, by empowering women, female leaders, and moving forward and having a society that is led by women. Dare I say it, I think that we've come up to a point in time when we've realized that the males have no fucking clue what they're doing, and they're about to send us into the destruction of the planet. So it's time for someone else to step in. And I'm going to go ahead and say it's women. Yeah. I want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful eternity. Thank you for listening to me.